Geriatric Millennials. This is Jayme.
And this is Beth.
And we are two oldish, youngish ladies talking about how we are secretly judging
Everyone?
Everyone.
All the time? Not really. I feel like I judge too much probably, but I feel like it's over trivial stuff typically.
Yeah, I think that the key word is secretly. And
Yeah.
now we're saying it out loud, which means I feel like I'm going to expose myself as a terrible person.
Never.
In my mind.
No.
So it's secretly judging, and it's not something I'm ever really going to say to a person, but I'm going to think it. Is this what we're doing?
A little bit, yeah. And I think I don't know your list. My list is slightly lighthearted. I mean, there's things I will, like if somebody's doing something very offensive or overtly awful, I would definitely judge them out loud into their face and say something. But this is stuff that's I'm not going to say anything. This is my own preference in life, not necessarily something everybody needs to abide by. For me, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited to hear what's on your list, though, because we always go in very, very, very different directions.
We very often do. Yes. Most of the time we do.
I just want to say, so I have a little disclaimer that if at any point you're listening to this episode and you're hearing something that maybe resembles you or is making you stir, is getting you hot under the collar, it might just be an opportunity to be curious about why that is. Yeah. Why are you feeling some kind of way about two strangers on the internet talking about a behavior you may or may not be participating in? And just be curious.
Just be curious.
Just be curious. And just why do I hate them now?
Yeah.
Because they're talking about something that I potentially do.
So I'm going to start off.
Okay.
And I'm going to start off with something that is probably going to push some people's buttons.
I love that.
This is a big one for me. And this is pet owners. Now, not just all pet owners. That's not what it is. It's a specific thing. It is pet owners of dogs who have not trained their dogs.
Oh my gosh.
And who assume that the world loves their dog as much as they do and doesn't mind their untrained behavior all up in their business and in their space. When in fact, I mind.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't love your dog. I don't even like your dog, and I don't want your dog all up in my space, on me, clawing me, jumping on me, sniffing me. Okay, most dogs, even if they're trained, they're gonna sniff. They're gonna do that. But what I mean is when you're in a situation and a dog accosts me.
Oh, absolutely.
And the pet owner is just
oh, they're friendly.
They're not going to hurt you.
Don't
they're
worry.
Friendly.
Don't worry. They're friendly.
Don't worry. They're
really
friendly.
Lovely.
Or, blah, blah, blah. And I want to teach them a lesson because I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think it is cool. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think that you are making a big mistake. And I'm totally judging the pet owner in that scenario.
So just so you know, one of my items are dog owners that have their dogs off leash and don't have any recall and are not able to get their dog back. I distinctly remember I was walking, I had a dog. He was an English bulldog. He was 80 pounds of love. His name was Chunk, from the Goonies. And I was walking him around the block, and my neighbor had a dog, and he was I think he opened the door to talk to somebody, and the dog was just sitting in the house. That dog sees my dog, sprints after us. And I'm just keep walking because you're not supposed to run and whatever. It is a giant Rottweiler. And the guy runs over,
it's terrifying.
And he's he's friendly, don't worry. As this dog that is the same height as me, if you laid him out, is now jumping up at my dog. And I'm my dog's not super well socialized. He wasn't aggressive or anything, but another dog coming at him like that, I was so worried. And the dog's all up in our business. And the guy runs over. He's trying to pull his dog off, can't get him, couldn't call him back, nothing. And it's so scary. And I mean, I'm sorry, you hear about stories all the time where people get mauled by a dog. Right. Where it's the dog never had issues and all of a sudden it bites someone or it runs off leash and attacks someone. And it's just some of these dogs are scary and can do real damage.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Real damage.
We were at a campground one time and these people had a dog that was new to them. And it was growling and snapping at my children. And this was a big, large unknown, untrained animal with unknown history. And it was a rescue or whatever. And I was extremely uncomfortable to have this dog around my children because it was literally growling at my kids and snapping. And I was just like, this is not okay.
Yeah. It's so scary.
Absolutely. It is scary. And I think I've mentioned before living in Hawaii and being on the beach with my babies and people walking their dogs along the beach and often would have them off leash and their dogs would run up to the blanket that I was on with my babies and like sniff my kids or me or whatever and just be there. And I was so not okay with that because I was like, no, I don't know your dog.
That's what I say. I don't know you. I don't know you. You could have the most beautiful, loving, affectionate, sweet dog in the entire world that just loves exploring and meeting people. I don't know that.
Exactly.
I don't know that your dog is not aggressive and has like some, what is that, reactive disorder or things like that. And it's like, I have to protect me. Okay. I'm protecting myself in this situation or your
children.
Kids or your dog or your pet or whatever. And it's just like,
it's very uncomfortable. And I want them to be considerate of other people not being on the same page. And I have yet to see that.
Yeah.
Okay. The other side of that is that I have seen and come across some amazing dog owners, in my opinion, who are very respectful, who have their dogs trained and are totally, what is the word?
Like responsible and like appropriate and take care of. Yeah, that's fine.
When they're interacting with a stranger, being me or my family. And
love that
I do not have a problem with. I actually respect that. I think that's amazing. I think there are some amazing dogs, but a completely untrained animal,
especially a
just
big one,
right up in my space, I'm just not okay with that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I also judge the owner because I don't think it's the animal's fault necessarily.
Oh, obviously. Like it comes down to training and, intervention and different things like that.
Well, and the other thing is I get having a pet is a big responsibility and it is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work to train an animal. It's a lot of work to train your pet. It's a lot of work to train your dog. It's time, it's energy. It is an investment. You need to hire somebody sometimes or whatever it is and pay for their
medication,
pay for their training. You have to give them the appropriate exercise that they need, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's a big commitment. And I just think that if you're doing all of those things, I'm not going to judge you. And if I know that, if you're doing all those things and you're in the process and your dog's just not there yet for whatever reason, that's a different scenario. But just being oblivious and just being, okay with your dog being really annoying to other people, I'm just like totally judging that.
I just had a flashback. The year, probably 1987. I'm going to see if I can find the clip. But I think it was a show. I think it was Rescue 911, which are you familiar with that show?
Kind of.
Okay. So
sounds familiar.
So people that didn't grow up in the 90s and 80s, Rescue 911 was a horrific show where they would reenact real 911 calls. So you'd hear like, 911, how can I help you? And then you'd hear someone panicked, something horrible's happened to them. And
this is a horrible
And then
idea.
they'd reenact it. And you watched it as a child with your family and tried to pretend not to be scarred. But I remember there was a woman that had called this like a dog catcher or animal control on her neighbor. And the animal control officer was very much like, we need to check out your dog or something like this. She's a black lady. And I just remember being like, oh, okay, she's going to go get this dog. And she had like the little net thingy. I don't even know. Again, this is baby brain trying to remember this. But the lady whose house she went to go check on the dog, she's like, you're not going to like it if Bruno comes out here. She's like super aggressive lady. She lets the dog out. The dog charges the animal control person, latches onto her arm, and she's like trying to get her arm out and the dog's trying to drag her down. And we're just watching this as a family at 8:00 on a Thursday. I'm traumatized. And I think
terrible.
That's part of the reason why I have extra like feelings about dogs being like off leash and dogs not being controlled, because I'm so afraid I'm going to turn into the dog catcher, So anyway, I just need to put that out there.
Yeah.
See the show notes for the clip.
Yeah.
Okay. This is totally different.
Okay.
And this is petty. But let's say we're at a red light. We're stopped, right? And there's like a left turn lane and maybe 2 other lanes. Okay. It's all red. And you're in the left turn lane. or you're in the straight lanes. It doesn't really matter. But either the left turn lane or the normal lanes turn green. And if you're in the normal lanes and the left turn lane turns green and you lurch forward because you didn't realize it was the green arrow or you just saw green and went go a little bit, I judge you instantly. Instantly judge you. For no reason.
Because of the lurching?
Because you lurched forward. Like, you idiot. You didn't notice it was not your light turning green. It's the one next to you. Now, do I do this behavior? All the time. And here's the other thing that I'm going to judge you for. If you are first on the line at a red light, if you were turning left and it goes green, you don't get to take your sweet ass time. Oh, time to turn. No, your goal is to look both ways, make sure no one's coming, and then you get through that light so everybody can get. So as many people can get through it as possible.
Agree.
I literally will count how many seconds it takes the person to like get going and through the light. If it is more than 3 seconds, I hate them. And I judge them very fiercely. I mean, again, do I do all these things? Absolutely.
Probably not, though.
But
Probably
when I
not
do
like
it,
that.
it's fine. Because like I had a reason to be delayed because I was being extra safe because it's a dangerous intersection.
Okay, right.
But when you do it, you're being a jerk because everybody's trying to get to work and you're taking your sweet time to go around to the left. And then I miss the light because of it. Judging. What else you got?
Where do I even go next? So here's one. I want to say no judgment, but this whole episode is about judgment. And so the truth is I am judging you for your silly tattoos. The ones.
Oh, this is a deep cut. Okay.
Yes, because especially the ones that are just spontaneous, that you didn't really think through. And I just think that there are so many options. There's so many options. And it's a very personal thing, right?
Yes.
And tattoos are very personal. And I don't have a problem with anybody getting a tattoo. I really could not care less. But if they're really silly or they're just large in a way that is just, to me, like funny, like just looks funny, I'm thinking to myself, why would anyone put that on their body? You know?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I don't get it, but I also think it's great because I'm like, good for you, you know? I mean, you do whatever you want to do and put whatever pictures and things on yourself. But I do question people's choices for their tattoos. It just makes me go, what were they thinking?
Interesting.
And I like it when people tell me the story a lot of times. But a lot of times I don't get that opportunity. I just see it and I think, wow, like that was a choice. And I don't get it.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Yeah. And okay. I don't mind. I don't actually think about most tattoos unless they're like overtly offensive. Like I'm not a huge fan when you have like genitalia like tattooed on you and it's visible. Like to me, that's like, oh, like, but I love like a corny tattoo. I remember like Steve-O from Jackass, he had lots of like funny tattoos, you know, which for good or bad, some of them are actually funny and some of them are like, well, that was a choice.
Yeah.
But I kind of into it. But yeah, if it's a little bit vulgar, then I get like kind of like, yeah. And obviously if it's like racist or something. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay. Something that really I judge people for. If we're in a conversation for a prolonged period of time and we're going back and forth and we're talking about our lives or, you know, everything, blah, 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 and you never ask me a question, not only am I judging you, I hate you.
You're not actually going back and forth in that case.
No, but I've been in so many conversations where it's like, I realize I leave the conversation like everything I offered up as far as like anything about myself, they did not ask for. And I asked them like tons of questions about themselves and they were like eating it up, listening to their own voice and being like, I don't know, thought of. And they didn't even have the like decency to ask me one question in return. Like, oh, do you have any siblings? Oh yeah, I have blah, 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 blah. Nothing. Not back to me. Oh, do you have a sibling?
Right.
Do you have anybody in your life that loves you? You know, nothing. It's just wild to me. And it's just like, it's an instant like, okay, like we're not going to be friends. Like you're kind of lame.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So if you hit me in the streets, make sure you ask me a question.
Here's one. and I am judging you so hard on this. If we are in a public restroom at the same time and we exit the toilet stall and you don't wash your hands and you leave, I am so judging you.
100%.
I don't know what you're doing in there. I imagine you're doing something with body excrement, right?
Nice word. Yeah.
But
even if you
don't
weren't,
care. Even if I go in the bathroom to tuck in my shirt,
I'm gonna wash my hands.
I don't want everyone to watch me do it. So I go in the privacy of a toilet stall, or because I'm going to blow my nose. Well, in which case I should wash my hands because of that. But I mean, if it's something that has nothing to do with the use of the toilet, I'm still going to wash my hands when I come out because I touched a handle to get into the door and to get out of the door stall. I touched the little lock latch. I just also doesn't even matter. It's an opportunity to wash my hands because there's a sink and soap and I'm going to do it regardless. I am judging people so hard
100%.
when they do not wash their hands.
100%.
I think it is so gross.
It's disgusting. Like there's nothing like seeing someone leave a bathroom and not wash
their hands.
No, this is one of the most disturbing moments of my life. I was out to dinner with some family friends. And I went to the bathroom with someone and we come out and I wash my hands thoroughly and they just walk out behind me and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And we go to dinner and literally they have bathroom hands now and we're at the restaurant.
You're noticing everything
table,
they touch?
Everything they touch. And they're like, they got a side roll that they didn't want. And they're like, does anybody want this?
And they touched it with their hands?
Touched it with their bare hand, sawed it, and handed it to me.
No.
And I was like, I'm good.
No.
They like set it on like a little, like, have the little side plates. I had one that was empty. I just left it. And I was just like, it shook me to the core because I'd never known this about this person. And literally from that day forward, which that was 20 years ago, I have never taken anything out of their hand food-wise. Like, I'm just like, I will not share food with you unless I get my helping first. And then it's done. Yeah.
The things we don't know. The risks we take.
For
eating
reals.
In public places. I mean...
Well, and again, you just never hear. Okay, I have another thing I'm judging you about, and this kind of goes with that. Is like, I have been. Okay, we all know the 5-second rule. If you're at her house and you drop something on the floor and you put the chip in your mouth, whatever. I get it. Everybody has different levels of cleanliness at their house and what they're comfortable with. You do you. For me, typically, I don't eat off my floor. Like, has there been an instance where I've dropped something? Yes. I've dropped something before and washed it in the sink. If it wasn't obviously a chip or something, washed it and then used it. Okay. But typically I don't eat things off the floor. Anyway, I have been at places in public where I have seen people drop something in a public space on the floor, pick it up and shove it in their gullet.
No.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not here for that. I'm not happy about that. And that terrifies me. Because now I don't want to eat your food either. Like, oh, you're going to bring something to the potluck? I don't trust your food anymore.
I cannot think about potlucks very hard.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't participate. And I love a potluck. I do. I just need to not think about
I can't. And I have people I very much so love in my life. And it does not bother them to like drop something on any floor and just kind of pick it up.
I mean, did they lick the spoon as they're stirring? Did their cat?
There's a lot that comes with potlucks.
There is. A lot. That's why
there's a lot. I know. That's why when I go to a potluck, I only buy stuff from the grocery store. Like, because I'm so afraid, even though I feel like when I'm cooking, I keep it very clean and I sanitize all my stuff and my cats aren't around when I'm cooking. I just, the one chance that like a stray Bubba hair is floating in the wind and like lands on something in my house, I would just feel mortified. So that's a no.
Here's one. And that is when people say the phrase, and I say it too. So, I mean, I judge myself. But when they say that they want to do something or I'm trying to figure out how to put it into words. When they say that they don't have time in their life for something, I think I just don't like that phrase just because we all have the same amount of time. And it really does come down to priorities and choices. And it's unfortunate because I want to have different options. But depending on the season or depending on other things going on in my life and the commitments that I have or the relationships that I'm a part of or whatever, that impacts everything. And if it's really important to you, you will find the time. And it's like I feel the judgment of it as if the reason I can do XYZ is because I have all this extra time.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, that's not the case, you know?
I just use it differently.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that and it's very case specific, like conversation specific, but I do find myself occasionally having that feeling of judging whoever's saying that because I want to be like, actually you do, but it's because you're making a choice to prioritize something else, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't say it's because you don't have the time. I don't know.
I totally hear you. I also am going to add a little asterisk on that for my side of like, just because you don't value the thing I'm doing doesn't mean that I'm not using my time too. And doesn't mean that like doesn't mean that like it's not interrupting what I was planning to doing to hang out with you or do whatever. And then you're like, oh, actually I can't because I'm so busy. And it's just like, okay, I get that you look at it and like, oh, Beth, you were just at home after work hanging out for 2 hours. Sorry, I couldn't do dinner, like, and I blew you off. It's not a big deal. But it's just like, well, actually that 2 hours after work is my sacred time. And just because you don't see it like that doesn't mean that I don't value it and that it doesn't add something for me and that I don't like actually like pencil it in my head. So like mind your judginess, even though I'm judging you too.
Yeah.
So anyway. Yeah.
Totally. That's how I feel.
Like,
mind your judginess, even though I'm judging you too.
Yeah.
In this kind of a scenario with the priorities and the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is something I judge people harshly for and do myself. It is when people are over singing in the car or at karaoke. I need you to calm down. You are not Mariah Carey. You are not Sabrina Carpenter. You are not whoever the flavor of the month is for a singer. And even if you have a good voice and you really like belt it out and we're all singing normal, it's too much. Like, and sometimes I'll get very petty because I don't have a great singing voice, but I can carry a tune. And sometimes people think they have a great singing voice and can't carry a tune. I also have showmanship. And I remember it was actually a student, so I feel like kind of an a-hole. But we were at like I had a big group of kids with me. Like we had just done like, I think we did a mission. I can't remember where we were at, but whatever. So we're at this big restaurant and there's like singing happening and it's kind of a karaoke bar, but like not like crazy karaoke bar. So people are singing along, but it's nothing big. And I have one person and she just loves to sing and blah, blah, blah. And she's like trying to belt out this song, but not hitting it. So then I just was like, then I started singing out of spite to be like, this is how it's done. Even though I'm not a great singer, because I got so frustrated that like you're trying to pull focus and I can't right now. And so I'm going to be a little brat and try and pull focus from a child. But I have been the culprit of that, where I've been at karaoke bars. Like I used to karaoke all the time with my friends in South Korea. They have the best. They're called noribangs, and they're these little singing rooms. And so you go and you rent out a room, and it's just you and your friends singing. It's the best. Like I know some people like karaoke bars where you sing in front of people, but it's so much more fun when you're like just with your friends and you're getting drinks and food and you're just singing in a little room. It's wonderful. But there have been times when I've just like over emoted or like tried to go too hard and it's become very cringe. And so I now try to always hold back and try not to be that person, because when I do see it, I'm like, that's just so annoying.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I have one that is just really irks me.
Okay.
And that is if you spit in front of me.
You mean just spit on the street, in the grass, or somewhere like that? Oh.
Like if we're walking along a path and like you're clearing your throat and then you huck a loogie in front of me, or you spit at like across the way. I just hate spitting. I think it's so disgusting. Like when somebody, like when you're out walking and people just spit on the ground, it's just so gross. When I'm walking around and I see like a giant loogie on the ground or just a spitball, whatever it is, disgusting. Like I just hate it so much. Like it's so, that's my big thing, is like where they like do the phlegm and then, and it's just like, oh my, like I see your boogers in the spit.
It's gross.
It's so gross. Makes me so sad. Anyway, I hate spitting.
This is bad of me. this whole episode, I'm making myself feel bad. I'm like, I am such a judgmental person, but whatever, we're doing it. So when I see, and I do this too, I know I do, but like really outdated makeup choices, makeup looks that are really outdated, that are not doing any favors for your features from my perspective, I'm secretly judging you for that. And I want to be like, can we update this? Can we change a few, like just tweak a few things because you're beautiful, but like you don't need the dark black eyeliner on top and bottom anymore.
That's
like,
what I was
please
just gonna
don't.
say. There was a whole thing on TikTok where this woman got on and like she was getting, I don't know if she asked about her makeup or people just started roasting her, but she was like asking like, how old do I look? And then people were clocking her makeup because she was doing a very, very heavy under eye black liner, like 90s. And I actually know a few people that do this, right? Like they have done their eyeliner like that since high school or middle school.
And so they're used to that's how they look.
But I'm like, if you would just take the bottom off, first of all, you would look 5 years younger instantly. Your eye would pop open more. Like you are like dragging your whole eye down with that.
So true.
Again, I'm not a makeup girly. Like I try to pretend I am not great at it, but I do know the
outdated makeup. There was this lady that I had seen that she started going without it, and she was like counting the days. Like
I saw her. Yeah,
day 15, like day 30, day 45, and just of without her. And it was really hard for her in the beginning because it was almost like a security thing of just that's what she was so used to. Yep. But she looked so much better without it, and she started getting a lot of feedback about that, and recognized it herself over time and got out of that habit. And so anyway, I do find myself judging that kind of outdated look. And I wonder if I do the same thing sometimes, you know, and hopefully I don't, but whatever. I mean, it's fine.
This judgment goes out to one specific friend. And if you're listening, you know exactly who you are. If you think you're better than me because you'd never downloaded TikTok, okay. And if you're getting annoyed because in the group chat I'm sending people a TikTok, you're like, well, I can't see that because I'm not on TikTok. First of all, just click the link. It'll take you to the browser. You're fine. Secondly, like you're making me go to Instagram to try and find the same TikTok to send you a reel via Instagram.
Well, they're not making you do that though, Beth. You don't have to go.
But if I say I'm going to give you a recommendation and then I send you the recommendation via TikTok and then you're like, oh, actually, I can't even look at a TikTok link because I refuse to just even look at TikTok even in a browser.
Well, are you sure that's what they're saying? They're not going to do it through a browser?
They're just like, I don't do TikTok.
I'm judging this person too.
Yeah, you know who you are. I want to say your name, but I won't because I love you. But it just makes me giggle when it's like, yeah, I never downloaded TikTok, or oh yeah, I don't have TikTok. I'm like, okay, congratulations, you don't get a prize. Like you're like, oh, I don't like to like doom scroll that much. I'm like, girl, you are on Reels.
Totally. I think it's so funny. I'm going to call out my husband because it took him so long to get a smartphone, and he was, holding out for so long, and I'm just like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And you don't get a prize for that. I mean, nobody cares. And you're only just inconveniencing yourself.
Right?
For what?
Yeah. Congratulations.
Do you feel that you are cool or something because of that? I mean, what? And now, of course, he has an iPhone. But I just thought it was just kind of funny, but also irritating. Like, are you trying to prove something? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Cool. That's cool. You do you, but don't say it in a way that's like, so I was on a dating site. This was years ago. And I remember reading this guy's profile. And he's like, I don't watch TV. And I mean it, no TV. Like he was really looking for someone that doesn't do that type of media. And I was just like, the way he like talked about it in his little bio and stuff, it was just very like, I'm above this.
That was not for you.
I read not books, literature. I'm out in the world experiencing. I'm not doing this whole like getting like numb and lost in TV. I'm like, good for you. You've missed 1,000 great shows. Okay. Like, I'm sorry. I read books too. I don't read literature. Okay. I read trashy novels and mysteries and I have a great life with it. But it's just like, you're not better than anyone else because of the media you consume or don't consume. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, just calm down.
Get off your high horse.
Right? Like, ugh, nerd. Anyway.
So there we have it. I mean, there's all of our secret judgments, and I mean, they're not a secret anymore. So
I mean, they're out there for the world.
And now I'm judging myself because I feel like, but you know what? Everybody has these.
And I'm going to just say, like, we want to hear your judgies.
I would love to.
We actually just started our own Facebook private group for other geriatric millennials to see behind the scenes. We add extra stuff there. We post like little memes we find and videos. It's very millennial, but
it's very geriatric.
It's very geriatric millennial
and borderline Gen X.
Yeah, but it's super fun, and it's just like a way to connect with other people that are kind of in that same age range, looking at the same stuff. And I'm going to put a post out, and I want to see, where are your secret judgments?
I want to see.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. But yeah, I do that too, you know?
And then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so much better than them because they're judging in a way harsher way.
Oh my God.
If you're enjoying the podcast and would like to support the show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at The Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost. Check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.